So one thing you've mentioned and one thing I really loved was you're looking for A-plus talent. There's a massive talent shortage out there at the moment. We know that, okay? So the pool of good quality financial planners, power planners, administrators is actually shrinking. There's not enough people coming into the profession. That's the whole point of this podcast as well. The byproduct is we attract new people in. It's happening, it's getting there. But if you're looking for A-plus, you're fishing in a pool with other people, right? So A-plus candidates, give them an A-plus environment, but also give them A-plus benefits. Do you offer any benefits outside of that flexible working, or what else are you offering these candidates that come to join your business?
Yeah. You can't have one without the other, can you?
No.
Apart from the flexible working, I mean, we got to pay people really well, first and foremost, and we're always keeping up to date with what the market is doing, and we want to be in the top 10% of payers. Like that's I think an important part to most people. But the other benefits within the organization is 5% of salary they have, each team member has as a growth allowance. So that can be personal growth, it can be professional growth, it can be a cookery course.
Okay.
It can be, it can be learning a language, whatever it is that that person really wants to get better at and improve. It can be a weekend away with their partner, right? Like, there's not really anything that's off limits there, but we want it to be focused on what that person really needs. And that's just, covered by the company.
I love it.
The other thing is we have 5% company bonus. So we always want to make sure everyone's rowing in the same direction, right? And so at the end of the year, depending on whether we've hit all of our sort of business metrics together, and we're very transparent around what those metrics are, then there's up to a 5% bonus. I think one thing that we've brought in recently that really lit the eyes up of a lot of the team was once someone's worked for us for 3 years, we are going to give them a full month paid sabbatical where they can travel or do whatever they want, put their feet up. And we've got one of our staff that is coming up to that point now and starting to think about how she is going to how she's going to take that. So that's quite exciting.
Love that.
Aside from that, I think I mentioned the work from anywhere. I mentioned the flexible hours. Really, that kind of we try and tick as many boxes as possible, and we also always trying to get feedback from the team. This probably isn't a benefit, but one thing that we want our company culture to be as well is a very flat management structure. So it's not like top down, do this, do that. It's everyone's idea is on an equal footing, right? And we have, collaborative meetings together around, right, what can we do better? How can we improve our client experience? How can we add maximum value to clients? And also, like, what can we do to improve your lives, the team, and so far that's working really well.
Oh, I love that. I've got to ask, when you have that feedback and it comes, because everyone has ideas, they want to bring ideas into their business. When you do that, often businesses love hearing the ideas, but don't have the time or resource to implement those ideas. From your perspective and Chris's perspective, who gets shit done? Who implements it? Who's the person within the business that actually implements the ideas and the feedback that people are actually doing to make improvements?
That's a great question. It isn't usually me. It's actually, this is where it's very useful having two business owners, one of them very focused on clients, business development, which is myself, and Chris, who doesn't see clients, is focused on operations and running the show behind the scenes. And so Chris is the guy that will implement those things. And it's not just him, he will use the team. If someone has an idea and everyone kind of likes it, okay, come back, put together a more detailed sort of project plan around that, around how we implement it. Because you're absolutely right. Everyone can come up with ideas and it can all sound rosy and great on a team day. But the really tough part is, actually making it happen. I think one thing as a business that we're very good at is making things happen. And I think that is largely down to having that kind of balance of leadership.
I love that. Speed, being agile, I think is what lends itself to a boutique.
Indeed.
Yeah, that's exactly what people want to hear. And if people can get very, very bored in some of these larger businesses, because you can run from one side of the ship into the other side of the ship, but it doesn't rocket. And I think when people have really good ideas and they want to be heard, it's great to have an environment where that can be done very, very quickly if everyone agrees. It almost feels like a little bit like a partnership.
Yeah.
Like you're partnering with everybody within your business to improve the business, to drive the business forward. There is no hierarchy.
That's right. We have what we call growth and development meetings. So one-on-ones with every single team member. That always starts off kind of monthly, and then we might move it to quarterly once someone's sort of been around long enough where they don't feel they need it as much. But that's really a conversation around how are you getting on, what you're struggling with, what ideas have you got to improve the overall business, how can we support you better, and exploring all of those things, and just having a really human conversation around how can things get better. And then, as you said a second ago, what can be done there? Like what's reasonable? And not everything, of course, can be implemented. And whenever someone comes up with a new idea, it's not automatically, we can do that.
Yeah.
But listening, and then when everyone's in agreement, actioning it, I think that's really valuable.
Yeah, perfect. They're the people doing the job at the end of the day in, day out. You want to hear the things that are working well and the troubles and what can be improved. We've spoken about making a positive impact within your business and how you reward impact over time. A lot of businesses are like, "Oh, you come in at 7 o'clock and leave at 7. You must be doing a fantastic job." Whereas you're rewarding the impact over the time. If we were to kind of break that down in real simplistic terms, and then before we get into the different types of roles that you've got within the business, talk about maybe the 5-stage structure that you have implemented in each of those different types of roles within your business, and how that then helps you measure impact.
Sure. Well, first thing we've done is break down the 5 steps for each of the individual roles, which, don't worry, I won't go through every sort of step and measurement today. But as I said, we've kind of got, the first step is junior, which is around doing the basics of that role really, really well. So the bar is already reasonably high just at that level. I guess the middle step then is experienced. So, okay, you can do the basics pretty well, but you're also maybe bringing some ideas. You're also raising the standards to some degree. You're looking at opportunities to kind of develop the business within that kind of role. And then the exceptional kind of point number 5 on that framework is you are the go-to person with regards to everything and anything in that role. You're driving things forward. You are, a key to change within the business, and you're also probably kind of, managing and helping other team members across the board. So that's a really broad overview, but ultimately, this is something we've built with the team as well. It's not sort of Chris and I coming up with just, the ideas and what we think. It's getting feedback, reviewing that, what else should go into this kind of framework. So that's something that we've kind of, implemented with a reasonable degree of success.
I think it's a smart thing to do because it allows you to open up almost 5 roles within one role.
That's right.
So you could hire somebody at the top, or you could hire somebody maybe junior, depending upon the business need. The person who comes in can see what the opportunity is in front of them.
Exactly.
So
that.
they can climb the career ladder if they want, or they can come in at the top because they've got the skills and the expertise.
Yeah.
But the reward is higher than what might be out there in the open market due to the business running on smaller overheads.
I should have summarized it like that, shouldn't I?
This is what I'm here for. This is what I'm here for. As we said before, sometimes one of the most difficult things to do is talk about your own business.
Yeah.
You spend so much time talking to clients about what they want, their futures, and delivering the best service you possibly can. We often don't stop and think about our own businesses. And this is like what it's all about here at the Financial Planner Life. I want you to articulate and bring to life what it's like to work within your business and what that opportunity is, because it often gets missed out on a job advert. Although your job adverts are actually extremely good, because I looked at those; they were really good. And that kind of brings me into looking at the job roles that you've currently got at the moment, and that will always really be open within your business, where you're looking for that top tier talent, okay, to join your company. Before we get into it, because I want to start with like the administrator side of your business and what that role is, and for you just to give a little bit of an overview of that, because I know you're looking for somebody right now in that position also as well, right?
Yeah. So just to give the big picture, I suppose we've achieved 40% year-on-year growth over the last couple of years. So we are organically growing relatively quickly, and that's a great benefit to the business, but it also is a challenge from a capacity point of view. And so we believe in kind of hiring ahead of the demand. And so ultimately, that's one thing that we're doing at the moment. We're building the next team, and we work in a pod structure. So we financial planner, para planner, and administrator in teams of 3. And we're looking at building that next kind of pod of Frazer James to facilitate, the new era of clients that are coming on board over the next year or 2. With regards to the administrator role, I guess our administrator role is probably pretty different to many administrator roles out there that where the administrator is kind of pigeonholed and doing kind of, I guess, various different tasks throughout the day. Our administrator is the quarterback of the pod. They are in charge of providing a brilliant client experience and trying to progress that all of the time. They are spinning a lot of different plates, managing different projects, organizing things like events for current clients, and also ensuring that when we take on a client, that they are absolutely getting through that work as quickly as possible and seamlessly as possible. Mm-hmm. I think the one thing that we always have at the top of our mind is the Amazon effect and how people want it now. With financial planning and taking on clients, you can really get stuck in the mud a lot of the time. And that onboarding process can easily be a matter of months. We're really trying to slim that down. And at the forefront of that is the administrator who's kind of really managing that whole experience for that client.
Love it. So the journey you've got these different 5 stages, say, for an administrator. So can you just talk to me a little bit about those stages, like the responsibilities of an administrator, and what, say, somebody coming in at junior level might look like up against somebody that's maybe at stage 5?
Yeah, sure. So at junior level, there is still probably a really broad range of tasks, and probably broader than most organizations from what I hear and see for people who've joined us. But they are usually very well organized. They're scheduling and managing kind of, diaries for the team. They are in charge of client data gathering. They might also be involved in providing and managing data for kind of management information for the leadership team. But they are, I guess, wearing a number of different hats and able to do that relatively well. That might be a slight step on from junior, actually, but that's kind of a starting position. And then someone who is, I guess, is working towards that exceptional stage is able to do all of that, but then is also leading the charge in terms of developing our process, building new workflows, managing other administrators and members of the team, and really kind of the leader of that kind of position, and becomes, I guess, the central cog of the pod that they're working within as well. Okay. And then with that comes, I guess, higher rewards as they get there. So, on that upper scale, our kind of salary range is up to £55,000, which is relatively unusual within a kind of administrator role. Yep. So, I guess we're asking for quite a lot from that person if they want to go on that journey. But we're also wanting to recognise and reward that as well.